Hello. Well, it's that time of the year again. Christmas. And I got to hang up all the Christmas stuff now. And I don't want to do it. Stuff like this. No. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I don't want to do it right now, so I thought I'd make an excuse and say, well, I have an important YouTube to make. Otherwise, I'd hang up these guys and do all this stuff. So I had to come up, think quick. I had to think fast here. And so this important YouTube about the tarot had to be done instead. So that's what I thought I'd do. I was thinking about this anyway. And so, while it's in my head, I thought, well, I'll do it. And I thought about the positions of the card spread. And we always look at that as the card spread is something you only see in a book or on a YouTube or something like that. You'll see it laid out. But you don't ever see it on your table. And it's always numbered, and it's supposed to be read in an order, or it's supposed to be laid out in an order. Each position is numbered. Each position has specific meaning before cards are even laid into it. That's something I think it's important to know. So you could actually do a reading just by looking at the card spread itself if you had a way of looking at it. Just to see what you see firsthand, right off the bat. Well, what are we looking at here? Before I throw any cards into it, what ideas do I have? And I don't think a lot of people really see the card spread that way. And I think it's important to look at it at that perspective, just to see if it gives you a different twist on things. So if you were to take a card spread and just have it, if you were to make actual cards with the numbers of the card spreads on them, it might help you see it better. So if you would lay these right on the table, I got position 6 here, position 5, position 1, so on, position 10. There's 10 of them here for a Celtic cross. But if you looked at a card spread, if you see it, you see they're numbered, and people think, well, that's the way you lay the cards in that order. Or maybe that's the way you read the spread. But I don't think it's really important to have numbers on positions other than when you want to talk about a specific position, position 5 or position 2. It's really, other than that, it really has no value. Other than you knowing what position 5 means to you, or position 2 means to you, or any of the other positions. There's no specific order that they have to be laid down in or looked at. So I thought, well, if you looked at a card spread like you normally do, that's fine. But now if you wanted to look at it differently, what if you were to take the card spread and just look at it as a stack instead of spread out on the table? And you could randomly shuffle these stack of cards or positions to see what order you would address this particular reading you're doing. What's the first thing to look into? What's the first position to read? You read position 5 first, then position 1, and then position 10. The reason I think this is a good idea, there's something different to look at this way. Positions are a proposition, the question is a proposition. But positions are an arrangement or a location. And your question has segments to it. And these segments have locations in a procedure and what you're trying to do. So to maybe to do whatever you're doing, maybe the first thing you need to do is address position 8, which to me, that's the timing. What things need to be in, look at what needs to be put into place before I move forward. And maybe the second thing I need to look into, what kind of opportunities are coming up. That would be position 6. And then maybe the next thing to look at is what's the first things I need to get accomplished, which would be position 4. Maybe the next thing I would look into position 9 is the whole purpose of this. What am I trying to, what's the big picture in this goal? So by looking at the spread in different orders gives you different looks at the question itself. And if you were able to do that, if you had the time to do that, which you could make the time, if you could, you see that maybe addressing certain things first before you proceed to another position would work better. So card spreads are usually laid out with implying that we're supposed to read this in a specific order. And I don't think that's a good idea. I think, well, it's nice to have a routine, but it's also nice to be able to take a quick glance at the arrangement and rearrange things and see, well, maybe it'd be better if we took care of this particular aspect of the question first before we move into this particular aspect. Where to look into this particular aspect first before we look into this one. So it's nice. You can come up with different ideas because of that. And it might actually make the situation more effective than what you're finding out. So I like the idea of actually taking and have a set of random cards for positions. I've not used this, but I think it might have some potential to be able to actually say which one I'm going to read first. So I got to sit there and I got to have I don't have to put these on a table as a card spread, but after the cards are laid out, and I have a Celtic cross here for this. I can say, okay, I'm going to look at position number. That's not it. I'm going to look at position number 10 first. And now we're looking at position number 4 after that. So just rearranging the positions, position 3 after that, might give me some new perspectives on what I'm looking at. Could be useful. You could also use that situation to look at it and say, okay, well, I think we should take care of this first. Position 2, maybe. Or I think we should take care of position 9 first. Or position, to have the freedom to be able to make those choices. Because most of us will look at those positions and say, well, that's how we read it. We read positions 1 first, and we read position 2 and 3. So it's like, if you look at a card spread like a sentence, we're rearranging the words in that sentence to see what else we come up with. I like the idea of playing around with a card spread. It helps us see it differently. So I thought I would mention that, and we'll take it from there. Now I guess I gotta go put up Christmas lights and take it from there. So keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye.